Let me ask you something. What if I told you that somewhere in your daily routine there's a $10 habit quietly draining thousands of dollars from your future? Not a scam, not a loan, not a bad investment, just something you do every single day without thinking twice about it. And here's the wild part. You actually enjoy it. You don't feel it leaving, it doesn't hurt, there's no alarm that goes off, no notification that says, hey, you just lost another chunk of your financial future. It just disappears, quietly, consistently, every single day. Now, before you assume this is about coffee, stay with me, because this goes much deeper than a latte. This is about a psychological trap that almost every person between 20 and 40 falls into, and most of them never even realize it until it's too late. Here's how most people think about money. They look at their salary, they pay their bills, and whatever's left over, they spend. And when someone tells them to save more, they think, okay, I just need to cut back on the big stuff, the holiday, the new phone, the expensive dinner. But that's not where the real damage happens. The real damage happens in the $10 zone, the small, invisible, daily decisions that feel completely harmless, because individually they are harmless. A quick snack here, a convenience fee there, an app subscription you forgot about, a same-day delivery charge, a vending machine, a parking top-up, one streaming service you haven't opened in 3 months. None of it feels significant. That's exactly the problem. Psychologists call this the pain of paying. When we spend large amounts, we feel it. It creates a psychological sting. But small amounts, our brains barely register them, and so we spend them on autopilot day after day, completely unaware of what's actually accumulating. Let's do some honest, simple math, because numbers don't lie, even when our brains do. $10 a day. That's it. That's what we're talking about. $10 a day is 70 pounds a week. It's roughly 300 pounds a month, and over a year, that's 3,650 pounds gone. Not invested, not saved, just gone into the daily fog of small spending. Now here's where it gets serious. Let's say you're 25 years old right now, and instead of spending that 10 pounds a day on forgettable little purchases, you invested it. Put it into a simple index fund that tracks the stock market, the kind that has historically returned around 8 to 10% per year over the long run. By the time you're 55, that daily 10-pound habit, that one small, seemingly harmless decision, could have grown to somewhere between 400,000 and 600,000 pounds. Read that again. Not because you were a genius investor, not because you picked the right stock or got lucky with crypto, just because you redirected one small daily habit and let time do the rest. That's the magic and the tragedy happening at the same time. The magic is that small amounts, consistently invested, become life-changing wealth. The tragedy is that most people never see it because they're spending those exact same amounts on things they can barely remember buying. So why do we keep doing it? If the math is this clear, why don't we just stop? This is where psychology becomes more important than finance. Our brains are wired to value right now over later. It's called present bias. The pleasure of that convenience, that snack, that quick delivery, that impulse app purchase is immediate. It's real. You can feel it in the moment. But the 400,000 pounds at age 55, that's abstract. That's a future version of you that doesn't feel real today. So your brain does a quiet calculation and decides the immediate reward wins every single time.
And then there's something called lifestyle friction. This is the idea that over time, small spending habits quietly raise your baseline. What used to feel like a treat becomes a default. What used to be occasional becomes daily. You didn't decide to spend 300 pounds a month on small things, it just became normal. And once something becomes normal, we stop questioning it. There's also the identity trap. Many of these small daily habits feel like part of who we are. The morning coffee run isn't just coffee, it's your ritual, your moment, your identity as someone who has their life together. The daily lunch order isn't just food, it's a social habit, a comfort, a reward for working hard. And so cutting it doesn't just feel like saving money, it feels like losing something personal. That emotional resistance is real and it's powerful. But here's the reframe that changes everything. You're not giving something up. You're trading something small today for something enormous tomorrow. That's not sacrifice, that's strategy. So what do you actually do with this? You don't need to become a monk. You don't need to cut out everything enjoyable. This isn't about deprivation, it's about awareness. The first step is to track your small spending for just 1 week, not to judge yourself, just to see it clearly. Most people are genuinely shocked by what they find. Those invisible 10-pound moments add up to a very visible number by day 7. The second step is to identify which ones actually bring you real joy and which ones are just habit. The coffee you genuinely look forward to every morning? Keep it. The app subscription you haven't opened since February? That one goes. The third step, and this is the one that actually builds wealth, is to automate the redirect. Set up an automatic transfer on payday that moves even 50 pounds or 100 pounds into an investment account before you can touch it. You won't miss what you never see. And here's something important to understand about wealth building. It's not dramatic. It's not one big decision. It's 1,000 small, quiet decisions made consistently over time. The people who retire early, who build real financial freedom, who aren't stressed about money in their 50s, they're not necessarily smarter than you. They just learned earlier to see the invisible cost of small decisions. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. The most expensive things in life aren't the big purchases, they're the small ones, the ones we make every day without thinking, the ones that feel too small to matter, the ones that add up to a future we didn't choose. The 10-pound habit isn't making you poor because it's 10 pounds. It's making you poor because it's 10 pounds every single day for years on end, money that was always one decision away from becoming something life-changing. You now know what most people never figure out. The only question left is, what are you going to do with that knowledge? If this made you think differently about your daily spending, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more videos that break down money psychology in simple, honest ways, you know what to do.